Welcome to BMBBH News with KF. News without the WS.
Hello. This story is really crazy, and I have to say before we get underway, my condolences to families who lost loved ones in this horrific Christmas Day parade tragedy, and just hoping for the best for the others that were impacted because this guy that I'm about to put on the screen, he impacted the lives of dozens of people. Yeah, okay, this particular individual over here, on the screen is Daryl Brooks. He's the age of 39. Originally reported it was 5 counts of intentional homicide using an SUV. Now it's 6 counts. There were, originally 5 victims reported, three elderly and two older. Virginia Sorensen, 79, Leanna Owen, 71, Tamara Duran, 52, Jane Kulik, 52, Wilhelm Hospital, 81, and added to that is Jackson Sparks, 8 years old. Yeah, when I first think of cases like this, one of the first things that comes up in my head is the mental stability of the the killer. But due to diving into this case a little bit, um, the conclusion that I drew at least was this man is just a violent criminal and he deserves everything he gets. What I'm going to play is a soundbite from the court case, the initial court appearance of Daryl Brooks, and what you are going to hear as the district attorney, Susan Opera, explains is very, very disturbing, and it has me wondering why is this man even walking around free. So just bear with me for a moment while I get this set up for you, and just take a listen. Just want you to understand that this is going to take a few minutes, so just be patient and just listen to what the DA has to say. I mean, it's just really just terribly disturbing.
Sir, as to the bail recommendation, Your Honor, I'd like the court to be aware of a prior criminal history as it relates to Mr. Brooks. I can advise the court he has arrest record from 3 states to include Wisconsin, Nevada, and Georgia. Starting with the state of Wisconsin, the record begins in 2000. There was a conviction in that year for substantial battery, party to a crime. A prison sentence was imposed but stayed for 3 years probation and 6 months condition time. 2002 conviction for possession of marijuana as a repeat offender, sentenced to 50 days in the House of Correction. 2003 misdemeanor conviction for resisting obstructing, sentenced to 20 days in the House of Correction. 2005, there's an arrest from Langlade County. Ultimately, he was convicted of a county ordinance violation for disorderly conduct. What's remarkable about that is that he failed to pay the fine, so he was ordered to serve 30 days in jail on the non-payment. 2009 Manitowoc County conviction for obstructing an officer, sentenced to 2 days jail time served. 2010 conviction from Wood County, Wisconsin. He was convicted of the offense of strangulation slash suffocation with other charges of battery and criminal damage to property dismissed and read in. The court ordered a withheld sentence for 3 years probation. That probation was revoked, and on August 1 of 2011, he was sentenced to 11 months jail. 2012, he was convicted at the same time on 2 separate files in Milwaukee County.
Okay, let me just emphasize that this is her just not only explaining his criminal history, but also emphasizing why she's about to ask for an astronomical high amount as far as the bail goes. Now, keep in mind that Daryl Brooks is already facing 5 counts, with a 6 count on the way of intentional homicide.
First file was a charge for possession of marijuana as a repeat offender, sentenced to 180 days in the House of Correction. The second file, he was convicted of misdemeanor bail jumping and misdemeanor possession of THC, also sentenced to 180 days in the House of Correction, concurrent to the other case and concurrent to each other. In May of 2012, there was a conviction for resisting obstructing. He was sentenced to 37 days jail consecutive to the earlier sentence imposed in April of that year. He's currently pending on 2 charges in Milwaukee County. 2020 CF 2550, he's charged with 2 counts, second degree recklessly endangering safety while armed, and 1 count of felon in possession of a firearm. The date of that offense, or excuse me, all 3 offenses, is July 24 of 2020. It's believed he was arrested shortly after that incident and remained in custody in the Milwaukee County Jail until released on bail there for reasons of a speedy trial violation on March 3 of 2021. Bail at that time was lowered from $7,500 cash bail to $500 cash bail. In that case, Your Honor, it is alleged that he got into a fight with his nephew. The defendant fired 1 round from a handgun toward the vehicle that his nephew was in. The vehicle was occupied by another person, and that accounts for the 2 charges of reckless endangering safety. The next day, he was taken into custody, and the residence where he was located, he was found to have a loaded 9mm handgun just a few feet away from him. The handgun was previously reported stolen. Again, he was a convicted felon on that date, so that accounts for the 3rd charge. He's also currently pending in Milwaukee County case number 21 CF 4596. That has a date of offense of November 2, 2021. He's charged there with resisting obstructing, felony bail jumping, second degree reckless endangering safety in a domestic violence situation, domestic DC, and domestic battery. The allegations in that case, Your Honor, are that he struck the mother of his child in the face with a closed fist. Then as she was walking away from him, he intentionally ran her over with his vehicle.
Wow. So this is the part where, like I said, you've listened to so much of this, to the point where you are already wondering that he already had some kind of vehicular assault previous to this. So how did he even get the opportunity to even do this on Sunday? And what I would say is, or chalk it up to, is just another failure by the system. The system failed Daryl Brooks, and the system failed all of those families that were impacted by this. But wait, there is more. Let's continue.
The vehicle in that matter described as what's believed to be the same maroon 2010 Ford Escape used in the allegations in this case. Police went to his home and found him getting out of that Ford Escape. The defendant ignored their commands to stop, and he tried to run into the house before he was apprehended. There's a long history of flight, obstructing, bail jumping type behavior, Your Honor. It's remarkable that these are violations all around the state of Wisconsin, not just his home county of Milwaukee, but we had convictions from Wood County, Manitowoc, and Langlade in northern Wisconsin. I'd like the court to be aware of a record from the state of Georgia, Nevada. We'll go to Nevada first. Uh, That happened, the first conviction was from December 11th of 2006. He was found guilty at trial of a misdemeanor count for obstructing an officer, was sentenced to jail in Nevada. Also on that same day of December 11, 2006, he pled guilty to a domestic battery as a misdemeanor, and the court there ordered a suspended sentence. On March 16th of 2007, he pled guilty to statutory sexual seduction, a felony. The court ordered a suspended sentence for 36 months probation. He was also ordered to register on the Nevada Sex Offender Registry. He is currently noted to be non-compliant with that registration requirement. On June 23rd of 2016, he was charged with a sex offender registry violation, first offense. He failed to appear in court, and a warrant remains active for his arrest. So he currently has an outstanding warrant for his arrest in the state of Nevada. In Georgia, Your Honor, the record reflects a May 27, 2021 arrest for misdemeanor battery with a designation of family violence. While it is not clear if he was convicted, he did recently remark to a court official in this county that he had served a 6-month jail sentence in Georgia. So we have not been able to verify if that was a conviction, but certainly there was a confinement in conjunction with that arrest. He has no contact with the criminal justice system.
All right, let me put this on the screen real quick. I want to show you as she's reading this, um, what's going on in the courtroom. All right. Like I said, fair use is in place.
In Waukesha County or the district attorney's office, she does have a outstanding paternity case that's been pending since 2003, in which he was adjudicated as the father of a juvenile, and there's been returned court appearances over the years based on failure to pay child support. The court should know that a warrant or capias was issued for Mr. Brooks in this paternity case on at least 8 occasions. He has been sentenced to jail on several prior occasions for failing to pay that child support. And on one occasion, he had his Huber privileges revoked related to one of those jail sentences. That was back in 2009. Most recently, there was a warrant issued for his arrest in that non-support civil case on August 2 of 2021. Judge Maxwell signed an order for him to serve a 120-day jail sentence. Mr. Brooks did make a court appearance in that matter on November 16th of 2021, so just last week, 1 week ago. And he was released at that time because, again, he had explained to the court, provided an explanation that the reason he had not made his child support payments is because he was serving that jail sentence in Georgia. So the court released him that day and ordered him back for a court appearance in the paternity case for December. So Judge, just based on his prior record, we obviously have very significant concerns about Mr. Brooks' flight history and willingness to obey the orders of the court. But we have to factor in, obviously.
Okay, according to legal definitions, flight history and being a flight risk means that basically you have not been following court orders, basically on appearances and what you're supposed to do. And from the way she explained it, like he has tried to flee, has not done anything within what he was supposed to do for the courts, so that, that gets him deemed a flight risk. So this is why they are asking for, to take extreme measures in Brooks's case.
uh, the allegations in this case as well. And obviously, I don't need to state Mr. Brooks is facing 5 consecutive life sentences if he's convicted on all counts in this complaint. I wish to notify the court sadly that today we learned of another death of a child related to this case. We do expect a 6th count for first-degree intentional homicide to be issued or added, to this case. I can advise the court that I am aware, I've been made aware through investigators that there are other individuals in critical condition. I think we've remarked on the number of actual injured parties in our complaint. It exceeds 60 people. There's a number of other charges that.
Yeah, not only do you have those 6 deaths, you also have a number of injured people that is numbered in the dozens. So there are a lot more charges on the way for this man. But, initially he has to face 6 consecutive, well, as of this, hearing, 5 consecutive life sentences with a 6th on the way. Yeah. So aside from all that, what should be made sure of is this man never ever sees the light of day ever again. He's a danger to everyone around him. So let's continue.
We are reviewing and considering, but certainly, at the very least, we do intend to file a 6th count of intentional homicide, uh, maybe Friday or maybe early next week, depending on when we can accomplish that. Certainly, if we have any other deaths resulting from this incident, additional counts of homicide will be filed. We didn't charge bail jumping. Obviously, we could have. We have focused our efforts to date on the immediate concern, and that involves the loss of life that is alleged to have occurred through the conduct of Mr. Brooks. I want this court to know, and I think the court has read the complaint. You've indicated you've read the complaint. There are not words to.
See, this is what I don't like. This is why I want to show y'all this screen. This dude is crying as all of this is being read to him. Now, I don't know what the tears are for. I mean, maybe he understands that his life is over with. And I mean, this has been going since 2000. His violent criminal history has been going on since 2000. And he did something, including just running over his baby mama with the same vehicle he used in this parade tragedy. So, like I was saying, is, you know, why is this man even walking free? And you have to ask yourselves, could this all been prevented? And what it's the way it sounds to me, it probably could have. But like I said earlier, a complete failure to the system. It failed Brooks by not taking him off the street so he couldn't harm anyone, and it failed all the victims and all the lives that Brooks impacted in a negative way. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fast forward to the judge's reaction, um, to what he just heard, and not really judge. He has another title. He has it on his desk, but yeah. So like, just look at the look on his face. Let me see. I think this is a good spot right here to start.
Taken, I am ordering that now. It may be expunged if you meet the criterion under the Wisconsin statute.
Yeah, there's Brooks still crying in court. Like, why are you crying? Did you cry when you ran over all those people? Like they're always these badasses when they're not in trouble, but then when they learn that there are consequences to their actions, all of a sudden they break down and cry. Disgusting.
The family is always welcome. You do, under the law of the state of Wisconsin, as well as under the amended Constitution, have the right to speak at proceedings. germane to the particular proceedings that we're at. So with that, I will set bail. I have no problem with the bail being recommended by the state. I'm an old guy who has been doing this for almost 4 years. DA's office, criminal defense attorney, 17, 18 years as a commissioner, both in Milwaukee and now in Waukesha. The nature of this offense is shocking. Actually, the detail I was not expecting here today, that two detectives, not lay people, detectives, not only tried to stop this, but rendered an opinion that this was an intentional act. You're presumed innocent, sir, but that's what the allegations are. And I've not seen anything like this in my very long career. It seems to be a very strong case for the state. Likelihood of incarceration, which is the other aspect of bail, is absolute. If you are found guilty of any one of these, a multitude of them, it's a life imprisonment sentence that must be meted out. So I have no problem. I just, with that bail, it's extraordinarily high, but it's an extraordinarily big case. It's an extraordinarily serious case with an extraordinary history of this gentleman, of fleeing, of hurting people, of not following court orders, not following criminal laws, not following just your societal norms. Hearing date, Attorney Perry, time limits.
Commissioner, we would be waiving time limits.
And now in Waukesha.
Yeah, I know I did quite a few things there, but
Actually, the detail I was not expecting here today. Two detectives, not lay people, detectives, not only tried to stop this, but rendered an opinion that this was an intentional act. You're presumed innocent, sir, but that's what the allegations are. And I've not seen anything like this in my very long career. It seems to be a very strong case for the state. Likelihood of incarceration, which is the other aspect of bail, is absolute. If you are found guilty of any one of these, a multitude of them, it's a life imprisonment sentence that must be meted out. So I have no problem. I just, with that bail, it's extraordinarily high, but it's an extraordinarily big case. It's an extraordinarily serious case with an extraordinary history of this gentleman, of fleeing, of hurting people, of not following court orders, not following criminal laws, not following just your societal norms. So I know that that's extraordinarily high bail. It's warranted here, and I am setting cash bail in the amount of $5 million. And with that, we're going to select a preliminary hearing date.
yeah, $5 million. I don't know if there was a way for this man to uh, not even get bail and just have to stay there until he's tried and convicted, then I would totally understand. But the law is the law, and that's what it is. It's being as someone that was a marching band member that marched in holiday parades myself. This if I was lucky if something like this would have happened, would have completely traumatized me. And and it's just like it's a shame that tragedies, especially around the holidays, has they have to happen. But what we can only hope for is that this man is convicted and never sees the light of day again. So, with that being said, my condolences to the families, and just we hopefully they can get through this. You know, get through this tragedy with much needed support. So, Daryl Brooks, hopefully you go down, and like I said, never punished to the fullest extent of the law. Wow. Like when you think about cases like these, you think about the mental stability, but this guy's just a violent criminal, and that's all there is to it at the end of the day. So, this is Kev. This is BMBBH News, News without the WS. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. And once again, my condolences to the family.